Before I begin, I want to read, you know, the word
Ghetto.
ghetto, the definition of it. A part of a city, especially a slum area occupied by a minority group or groups. What does being ghetto mean? The term ghetto refers to a neighborhood characterized by low property values and relatively little public or private investment. It is a slang term that is generally considered an offensive stereotype because ghettos have historically been inhabited by racial minorities. That is Webster's dictionary meaning of ghetto. And oftentimes, ghetto is synonymous with black people or rather minorities. And I can tell you, based on the amount of years that I've lived in Charlotte, if someone were to ask me, is Charlotte ghetto? I would say, can't curse right now. Yes, Charlotte is ghetto. Now hold your horses. I know what some of you all are going to say. Really, a lot of you all are going to say, well, how can I be ghetto? I live in Ballantyne. I live in Myers Park. I live in Huntersville. I stay in the biggest houses in the nice communities. I don't live in slums. I don't know any crackheads. I don't do any drugs. I eat at 5-star restaurants. Oftentimes, have brunch at this particular restaurant and blah, 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 wah, 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 wah. And the thing of it is that overall, just because you do like bougie things doesn't mean that you don't have ghetto-like tendencies. It's just that plain and simple. Like, if I were to follow you home and just be with you throughout the course of the day, I'm more than sure that I would find something that was ghetto about you. That plain and simple. This is the crazy thing. I used to work for Postmates. I still do the gig apps here and there. If I need some extra money, if I'm going, for an example, if I'm going on vacation or something like that, some extra change, But for the most part, back in the days, a couple years ago, I used to do Postmates like really, really strong. Like before the pandemic. And I did say pandemic. Prior to the pandemic, I did Postmates like a lot. You understand? In my area, my go-to area, or as Postmates will put it, the hot spots or the hot areas was like South Boulevard / South End, Ramir Park, Uptown, all of those areas. Dilworth, Myers Park, all in that area, right? And I can tell you, right? Because, I couldn't tell you if I were to follow the non-snitch black policy. You understand? But due to my understanding, white people don't have a non-snitch policy, so I can snitch on them. And I can tell you, man, I used to deliver pizzas and fries and all types of crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? And throughout the night, especially on the weekends, like from 5 in the afternoon all the way up to 2 o'clock in the morning, motherfuckers would get the munchies. Straight up. And one spot, out of several, one spot that I used to go to, right in Uptown, this place called Sky House North. That spot was known to be the reefer house. I'm not lying. I'm not making this up. No matter how many floors you visit, each floor would have the scent of marijuana. Straight up, I'm not lying. Not lying. I remember I used to go, and I'm going to make up this name. I'm not going to call her by her real name, because I do remember her name. That's hot. How many times I went to her door. You know what I'm saying? But I'll call her Judy, right? One time I knocked on Judy's door and she was John Blaze the hell up. And she's just like this. I'm like, yo, you want your pizza? She's like, just put it on it. I don't know what she was smoking. She was throwing the hell up. Like, it's just crazy to me how when it boils down to this term called ghetto, it's always used when talking about black people, when referencing black people. but never when it boils down to white people. White people get the fuck down. You know how many times I've been offered marijuana, beer, a good time? You understand? Parties that motherfuckers have invited me to while in the process of me, delivering food. And I straight up, I would have attended. And I would have been the, the laugh of the party. I would, the highlight of the party. I'm smoking weed, drinking. Yo, look at such and such. Hey, Lakes and yo, blah, 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 blah. Yo, but at the end of the day, I had to turn it down because I was working. Other than that, if I ain't had shit to do, I would have drove back home, parked my shit, and Ubered the fuck back to where that person was at. Like, it's nothing wrong with having a good time, man. It's nothing wrong with, as we say, you know what I'm saying? Society says letting your hair down. Straight up. You go down South Tryon in South End, all that area right there. Man, please. On a Friday and Saturday night, them white people, it's not just white people though. It's Asians, it's Hispanics, it's white people, it's black people. Everybody getting fucked up. Everybody getting tore up. Everybody's drinking, doing some type of drugs, so to speak. Straight up. So if somebody would have asked me, I'm gonna say it again. Is Charlotte ghetto? Hell yes. Hell fucking yes. Especially on special occasions like New Year's Eve. Boy, please, I got stories for days. Stories for days. I don't have to tell you stories about, the black community. You already know how us blacks get down. You already know that shit. But it was a shocker. Like back in the days, like when I was, like when I got out of high school and Duke had won the March Madness Final Four shit. I forgot what year it was. We went to the college campus, of Duke, and man, they had like, 1,000 parties that night. You know what I'm saying? And white people, that's one thing about white people, man. When they offer you beer and all that shit, they not just giving you like one, can of beer. No, the keg is over there, man. What? Motherfuckers know how to have a good time. You understand? If they offer you marijuana, it ain't like how black people is, yo, puff pass, motherfucker. You been too long on that blunt, my nigga. White people, they be like, yo, here's the bag. Roll up whatever the fuck you want to smoke. Straight up. Like, white people are not what society paints them out to be. It's all a facade. Even with the bougiest of the bougie. Straight up, that's my word, man. I went to this, I dropped off some food to this white old lady. She had to be in her 50s. And this was in South Park. She answered the door and she was just like, yeah, here's your $5. Have a good night. Have a good night, dear. John blazed the fuck up. I'm like sitting looking at her like, yo, do you know some shit that I don't know? Did they just change North Carolina law in this motherfucker? Straight up, it's just, yo, if you don't want to say ghetto, if you don't want to use the term ghetto, I would say Charlotte is just this one big ass goddamn hippie town or city. That plain and simple. I was at the Y, the other day, like 2 days ago. I worked out and I went downstairs, my normal routine, go downstairs. I go to the sauna, steam room, hot tub or whatever. I was in the sauna. It's an old white man. He was sitting in there talking to a colleague of him or a friend or whatever have you, And they were talking and the old white guy was like, yeah, I went to go see Superstar Jesus. And the way he was talking about this fucking play that was 9 minutes long, in which, they still have it in Bloomingdale Theater, located in Uptown Charlotte. Not too far from the right connected, if I'm not mistaken, to the Bank of America building. And the way he was talking about it, I was like, you know what, man, I might get me some tickets. I'm gonna give me a ticket. I'm gonna buy 2 tickets. I'm gonna get one for Pretty Ricky. And we gonna go see Superstar Jesus. I seen a commercial of that shit on the other day, and Jesus was singing like, "Oh Lord G. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, maybe me and Pretty Ricky and I may get high and go see that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because the reason why I'm saying that I would buy a ticket for Pretty Ricky, because the last Jesus thing we saw was back in the days when we was in our like early 20s, and I was living with him in Orlando, Florida. We went to go see, if y'all remember the Jesus movie that Mel Gibson made. That, oh my God, it was horrible. So I'm gonna tell you for real. I'm gonna get back on the subject, but anyway, we went to go see this movie, and we went to go see the movie just to see the gory parts, just to see Jesus get his ass kicked, and then later on the nails get, they put the nails in his hands and him screaming like a bitch. We went to go see that. As demonic as that shit sounds, that's what we was, in our 20s, and we loved that type of shit back then. You know what I'm saying? We were the type of motherfuckers that play Grand Theft Auto. We weren't playing it. We were just going out and just shooting and killing motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we go see the movie, right? And the first scene, Jesus gets thrown off by the Roman soldiers. He gets thrown off the bridge, and they pull him up and they yank him in his neck, and you can hear him go, oh. So then we looked at each other, and we was like, oh shit, right? So then later on, they put the thorns on his head, and he bleeding and shit. They took him out, Jesus that is. They took him outside, and they tied him around this pole and started whipping his ass with like a whip that had tiger teeth at the end of it. So they hit him one time, and the shit got stuck in his skin, and it's like on the side of his ribs. And they pulled it out. When they pulled it out, his flesh peeled back, and we was like, oh. Yo, we walked out of that movie theater traumatized. That's my word. I'm not even lying. That was the most nastiest ass movie that I've ever seen. I'm not gonna even lie. I'll go as far as to say that fucking shit wasn't a fucking Christian movie. That was a horror flick. They should have just been like, yo, coming to a theater near you, Jesus, the horror movie. That shit was, man, that shit put Friday the 13th, Jason, what else? Freddy Krueger, all them niggas to shame. We walked out of that movie theater shook. Cause there ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. We was shook like, no, I'm not gonna lie. I was traumatized. I ain't gonna lie, for a couple of days, no lie. For real. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get some tickets for Pretty Ricky and how to go see Superstar Jesus. But anyway, he was talking about the older white dude was talking about seeing Superstar Jesus. And then after that, he was like, yeah, I went home and I had a nightcap. And for those that don't know what a nightcap is, that's just an old way of saying I'm gonna get fucked up. Like, we know y'all secrets, man. Come on, stop it, white people. We know you all be getting your we know you be giving your children wine, table wine that is, at what, about 8 years old? Motherfuckers are alcoholics by the time they turn like 14 years old. This motherfucker just be talking about, I had to go to rehab. What? Well, how old are you? 15. Oh shit. Yo, man, the world would be a better place if we just stop fronting. If we just stop pretending. Like, the only difference between you all, I'm not talking about strictly white people. I'm just talking about bougie ass motherfuckers that look down at people that live in the ghetto, that live in the slums. Right? Call them ghetto. Those bougie ass motherfuckers with their nose up in the air. You know what I'm saying? That's who I'm talking about. And that's all colors, so to speak. White people, black people, Hispanics, etc. It just be bugging me out. Like, how do you look down on these people and call them ghetto? And the difference between you and them is that you're fully functional. Like, you're a functional ghetto person. You know what I'm saying? Unlike people that, that receive Section 8 and EBT and all that stuff, government money and shit in the hood. Difference, it ain't that much difference. You all still got ghetto mentalities too. Y'all got ghetto tendencies. The difference between you and them is that you get up and you go to work. You pay your bills. You got a nice car. You got a nice house and shit like that. You know, you've made good investments. You know what I'm saying? You use money as a tool, as a resource. You understand? But other than that, once you let your hair down, you doing all types of bullshit, making all irrational decisions. People act like motherfucking bougie ass motherfuckers don't have baby mamas or baby daddies and shit. Like they just make all the right decisions in life. And that's far from the furthest truth. I know, I've seen it with my own eyes. I've delivered food and going into these people's houses and they've, for some odd reason, it seems as though like on my forehead, it says, yo, talk to me. I'll listen to anything that you have to say. And these people open up to me and tell me about their fucking problems and shit. And it don't be like, you know, problems like our type of problems, like money problems. It'd be like situations and shit. Like, how the fuck you get yourself into that? Like, I got all these children. I ain't gonna go there. You know, man, like, seriously, now, I'll say this, man. Like, when you broke and you don't have shit, and this pussy right there, I mean, why not? But that's when you poor. You understand? You make those type of poor decisions. Why the fuck are you making poor decisions when you rich? Which makes no sense to me. But then you don't want anybody to call you out and say that that's ghetto. That's crazy to me, man. That's crazy, man. There's people that love wine. There's people that love liquor. There's people that love marijuana. And it's not just one race of people. It's just not. You know what I'm saying? And it's not one gender of people. It's not a gender of people. It's not an age of people. You know, yeah, true indeed. When you go down South End, you'll see all of the youngins down there. When you go to Vermeer Park in that area uptown, you see all of the youngins down there. You know, but the older people, man, they get drunk early. By the time 9 o'clock comes, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, they done fucked around and looked at the Andy Griffith show. What else they look at? Matlock. And it's another one, MacGyver. The motherfuckers in the bed by 9:15, you know what I'm saying? So they get drunk early. Those older people, you'll see them in Harris Teeter. See, some of y'all don't know. Certain Harris Teeter have bars in them. Harris Teeter off of Providence Road, like going towards Uptown. That Harris Teeter has a bar in it. Matter of fact, it has an elevator that you can go up. So if you get really tore up, you can just use the elevator to go down and go up or whatever, right? That one has a bar in it. The one off of South Boulevard, that one, Harris Teeter over there, and for those that are not familiar with Harris Teeter, I'm talking about a grocery store. So the grocery stores have bars in them, and they serve wine and beer. And you can look at the game and all of that shit. I've done it before. And the other one is in Ballantyne, off of Johnston Road. And Whole Food has, you know, where you can drink wine and beer too. Walk around and shop while you drinking wine. Like how people, you know, drink Starbucks coffee and shit. So, man, y'all need to stop pretending. People, you bourgeois motherfuckers, and this doesn't go out to one specific race. I'm talking about you bougie ass motherfuckers that look down at everybody and shit. Stop pretending, man. Everybody is ghetto. Everybody is in this motherfucker. Charlotte is just one big ass, hippie ass fucking place. It really is. And I ain't gonna lie, man, I love my white people here, man. I love my white people here. You know, man, motherfuckers get drunk, you know what I'm saying, get high, whatever, and it's all one big ass fucking celebration, one big party. I'm glad that they reopened, what's that place called? Tiber Creek? I think that's what it's called, right off of South Boulevard. They used to throw the best motherfucking day parties. Day, I don't mean the G, the day, D-A-Y. Tiber Creek Bar, I think that's what it's called. And it's a sign and it's a train like in the middle of it. I think that's what it's called. You know, the sign that they have like right on the corner. I think it's, what is it? Fucking South Boulevard. What's that damn street? And you can go, you can get to Blaze Pizza down there. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, and Shake Shack or all that shit. But anyway, yeah, man, you know, we need to stop pretending. We all fucking ghetto. You know, they say, I'm gonna leave it with this and then I'm done. You know, they say black people love them some fried chicken. Black people, you love some fried chicken. Well, I'm gonna call you on that shit. I remember when the chicken coop used to be open, right? Right off of Camden Road in South End. There was a long line around the motherfucking corner of that goddamn store. And that's all they served basically was fried chicken. And you know who was in that line? It wasn't just black people. It was Asian people. It was Hispanic people. It was white people. And I've seen all the motherfuckers come out and eat that fried chicken. Before they took that bite, they took that hot sauce packet and put that shit on there and ate that shit. Come on, stop it with the bullshit. White people love them some fucking good old soul food, chitlins and all. So stop it. Stop it. Stop it, yo. We are all one people. Straight up. If something happens to this planet, we all going down. So we should really just like come together and respect one another. It's just that plain and simple. You know, and for those that are like me, you know what I'm saying? That's like, I guess, somewhat middle class, you know, make a little bit more than I do or less or whatever. Hey, we ain't got much time here. For real. In Charlotte, North Carolina. We don't. Because Charlotte, believe it or not, at the end of the day, man, all the inner cities are all the neighborhood in the inner cities are gone. Gentrification is real here. You know, when you look at these movies, these science fiction movies, you know, these futuristic movies, and they show, you know, these beautiful cities, advanced technology, and little to no crime, you know, like the movies like Demolition Man and shit like that. That's how Charlotte's going to be in the near future. Straight up. In the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to be priced out. In other words, we ain't going to be able to afford to live in Charlotte city limits. So we better enjoy it while we can. Straight up. That's real talk. Other than that, man, stop fronting, man. We all ghetto. Cheers to those that will admit it. Whether you're white, you're black, Hispanic, and all of that. Matter of fact, let me know if you ghetto in the motherfucking comment section of this video. And what I mean by being ghetto, you're not going out there shooting and killing people. You're not going out there, you know, want to be all loud and shit. You want to be the center of attention and shit. You know, you trying to draw a crowd, you being violent and all. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what society deems as ghetto. Your weed smokers, you know, your drinkers, you know, you want people that want to have fun and people want to just be themselves. Just want to be real. Other than that, man, my name is Langston2092. I want you to like, comment, subscribe, and definitely share this video.